Hi everyone, it's Christina again with the Lori Dow team at Realty One Group Legacy with Lori.
Hey everybody.
So we went on some showings and think I found my dream home. I want to put in an offer, so take me through that process.
Okay, great. So the first thing I'm going to do is call the listing agent of the property just to find out is there any other interest or offers coming in. That will dictate a lot of how we handle it from there. If there's no other offers coming in, we should write the offer either that day or the next day. So
it should happen pretty quickly.
It should happen quickly. You shouldn't wait around because somebody else might come in with an offer. I like to write the offer right after we see the house if you're sure. Not to rush you, but if you're sure. We get the offer written right away.
Yep.
So we've already got our pre-approval done, right? So the pre-approval is going to accompany that offer.
Okay.
In addition to that, we have to define the settlement date or the closing date of when we think we can close on that property. And usually that's 30 to 45 days out.
From the time that we put in the offer?
From the time the offer gets accepted.
Okay.
That's right. When we write the offer, there's going to be 2 deposits we have to define. So there's typically within 5 days of coming under agreement, when the offer is accepted, you'll have a smaller deposit, maybe $1,000. That's your earnest deposit money. Then there's a second deposit usually lined up with after your inspections are done.
Okay.
And that's about 14 days. So we try to get inspections done between 10 to 14 days from the time your offer is accepted. So as you can see, there's a lot of timelines to keep track of, and that's part of what our team will do is keep you on track.
Okay. Now that deposit money that I'm putting down before the closing, do I get that money back? Or where does that money go?
Good question. So it's going to go in an escrow account, typically held by the listing agent's broker. It sits there until you're closing, and then that's part of the monies that you'll need for closing. So if your closing costs, if all said and done, what you need to cash to close, the money you need to bring to the settlement table is say $20,000, and you've already put down in the transaction $5,000. You only need $15,000 the day of closing.
Okay.
So that is part of.
It's part of the closing costs.
That's part of your final cash to close. That's right.
So now what's escrow? You said the money will be sitting in escrow.
Escrow is just an account that the brokerage has set up, and it's a holding spot for your money until the transaction is ready to close on settlement date.
Okay, got it.
And let's see, what else are we going to consider? So there's going to be an appraisal done as well on your property. Your lender orders that appraisal. That's typically done within 21 to 30 days of the day that you come under agreement.
Okay.
So that's another thing, and that's a cost you do pay up front. So you're going to pay for your inspection costs out of pocket before closing. You're going to pay for your appraisal ahead of time. So those are things that we also want you to know. What does that look like before we even close? What money do I need available for inspections and appraisal and things like that?
So the appraisal cost and then the inspection costs, those are not part of the closing costs.
No,
those are in addition to.
That's right. They're upfront costs to be at the time of service. You need to pay for those things. That's right.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to write the offer together. We need to come up with an offer price. So we're going to do a market analysis on that community that you're looking to buy in. We're going to look at homes that sold in the last 3 to 6 months or a little longer if there weren't too many sales, and come up with what the average house is selling for in that community. We look at the amenities and things that those homes had, compare it to the one you're buying, and come up with an offer price. Now in the market today, things are selling at 97 to 100% of asking price.
Wow.
So, and it really does depend on where you're looking. So we'll know that through the data that we'll collect ahead of time, so that when you, we want you to be comfortable with the offer price, but we also want it to be competitive enough for you to win the bid. There might be other offers coming in, so we have to keep that in mind. There's a strategy behind multiple offer situation, which we can talk about in another video, but just so you know where the offer price should be set, it's due to the research that we'll do on that community.
Got it. Okay.
And the document, the agreement of sale is about 14 pages long, so we'll go through it page by page.
You'll walk me through each section?
Absolutely, yes, and you'll understand it as we go. Select which inspections you're going to do on the home. That's all part of the offer, and then you'll sign it. We'll include your pre-approval. There's also a buyer financial form for you to fill out.
Okay.
All of this goes as a package, and we typically today email that offer over to the listing agent.
Okay. And then you'll follow up with the listing agent to make sure they got it,
Absolutely.
see where the sellers are at.
And we usually know the next day. We define in the offer how many days they have to consider the offer and then reply back.
Okay.
So,
So sounds like a pretty fast-paced process.
yep.
But all right, so I guess we'll move ahead and put in the offer, and we'll go from there.
Sounds great. Let's
Thanks.
go.